This is King Noble Black Supremacy. With this particular video, I want to talk about how the manifestation or embodiment of God on earth is the final ending of the Matrix. When God manifests on earth, the Matrix is reaching its completion. God on earth is symbolic of the end. Because when God manifests in the flesh, all of the rules of the Matrix are instantaneously being broken. God on earth is the anomaly, the miracle, the transcendental reality absorbing the energy of the Matrix. But it's not the manifestation of the embodiment of God on earth is not enough, because it has to be within you. God has to be realized. The realization of this embodiment of God, of the time of God consciousness and God awakening that we're living in, must be realized in you, so that all of the fragmentations of God's self can be brought back as one, brought back into complete wholeness. So that means the darkness in each individual that represents the ignorance or the limitations of the Matrix must be casted out of each individual. Each individual must begin now for the Matrix program to be ejected from them. That's when they wake up. When they no longer see the limitations, the boxes. They no longer have fear, lack, doubt, and limitation. They no longer can accept the impossibilities, contemplating the impossibilities that kept them locked into the paradigm that was the opposite of their freedom, accessing their divine potential and bringing about radical world change, change of this plane, change of this dimension, an entirely new dimensional experience on earth. So when God embodies and begin to dissolve the Matrix, expand within the Matrix, that God consciousness begins to expand within the consciousness of individuals that begin to implode. The Matrix inside of them begin to implode and transform, that energy transform into something that is more mutable, more changeable, more malleable. Shape-shifting is, if you will, something that can allow us to instantaneously change the reality that appears to be in front of us. We can change that at an accelerated rate. So we're not on light code lockdown with the codes and scripts that has been put before us by disagreeable beings that was trapped in the lower realms of consciousness and of intelligence. When God manifests on earth, there's already a radical shift in this paradigm that's happening. It's like the butterfly effect. It's now happening. It's now building up momentum. Change is already set into place. A lot of people ask me, what are you doing? What are you setting up? What are you establishing? What I'm saying is my very embodiment on this earth as enlightened, higher dimensional being already represents that the gig is up for the Matrix and for white supremacy. And that the ideas and intelligence and views that I will continue to expound will continue to destroy the Matrix and obliterate the deceptive rationalization that has kept this limited reality going. Because it's a limited consensus reality that people are being spoon-fed and constantly being programmed to accept and to propagate themselves. They're at a point now where they believe that it is themselves. So the ideas that I will present before the world, before those who are hungry and thirsty for light, for information, for those who really want to wake up, the information that I will provide for them, the consciousness that I will impart to them, will expand their reality. And in the expansion of their reality, the Matrix will have nowhere left to be. Higher consciousness will expand and reabsorb the Matrix energy like a black hole. It will suck all of the illusion into the black hole. And nothing will be left but the awareness of an infinite reality. We're looking on the other side of a black hole, seeing a material universe that is a one-dimensional illusion. On the other side of that black hole is infinite reality that can inhale old paradigms and exhale new paradigms infinitely. So God would have to come on earth to break all of the rules, to make people begin to question what is real, what is not, what is possible, what is not, what is even here, what is life. The very embodiment of God begins to destroy the Matrix reality. It destroys your conceptualization of limitation. So you have to think higher. You have to go deeper for questions, deeper for answers. And you end up in the void because you can't find the answers and you can't even find the questions to get answers to. You end up at the void where it all began. And that is the primordial state. That is the true creative state of consciousness. That's where you create at. Right now, we're living in someone else's creation, somebody else's simulated reality of what is and what is not, and what's even deeper, how it can be and how it cannot be. We're living in someone else's paradigm and somebody else's concept about how paradigms are born and how paradigms exist. So it's a deeper level of mind fuck than you would ever believe. When God comes, all of your ideas, matrix concepts, begin to become destroyed. The things that you thought were impossible are possible, and things that you never ever thought of and thought about are now presented in front of your face. There cannot be new information or anything information that is new until God himself embodies to shatter the myths, to fuck up the program, the system, the constructs, the repetitive, monotonous, and mediocrity that humanity has arose to at this dispensation of time, of how and what they have defined life to be, and how they have become trapped in that definition as the ultimate reality. God has to come beyond that, from outside of that, to bring you something else. When God shows up, that higher consciousness, that's something else beyond definition, beyond man's understanding, framework, construct, paradigm, conceptualization. When God shows up beyond all of that, the old paradigm is dying. The matrix is coming to an end. We cannot believe the unbelievable no more. We cannot accept it because we have evidence of something that is extra phenomenal and supernatural that is in front of our face, that we're constantly being bombarded with. We have a feeling within ourselves, our premonition, our psychic awareness, our intuition is telling us that this is something that is extra phenomenal beyond the reality of this bullshit that we have been fed. We can now take the glasses off that has really blinded us and see an infinite, omnidimensional reality. The final end of the matrix is the manifestation of God. So it's already happening. That's already a deep ass wormhole in this shit. It's already ripping apart. Trust and believe that. So the more you open your eyes to be able to embrace that extra phenomenal and supernatural entity that is manifested in this day and time, that is your way out. That is your mother shift. Your shift from the mother. Your shift from the matrix. Your shift from matter. Your shift from the material world to the Father consciousness. That which father all matrices. The mother is the matrix. The father is the source of all matrices. So that is your mother shift or your mothership. When you can shift your consciousness from the material world, which is all rules, regulations, and limitations, the Maya, to a transcendental reality that is the origin and essence of all creation and the essence of all creativity, that creates instantaneously, that is regenerative, instantly regenerative, instantly procreative, birthing thousands of paradigms and dimensions and thousands of possibilities and probabilities all at the same time. You've been impregnated with one. The mother, the matrix, has only been impregnated with one. But the Father consciousness produces thousands and thousands of light beings and conceptual realities and probabilities at one time, at one blast. So when God manifests on earth, you in a good time right now. The matrix is at an end. Chalk it up. If you're still holding on to it after this, you got a problem on your hands within your own experience, within your own growth and development. This King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleuncensored.com. donate, and don't hate.